Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I go to war with every single one of you every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights on the Mafia Sports Report channel. And I had a co-host with me, and that co-host is, I don't know. He's gone. He disappeared. He really was here. Like I promise you guys, the dude was here with me. We were talking football. We hit the live button, and all you got is me. But hey, the show must go on. I have no idea where he is. My system shut down. Be back in a few minutes. So Tommy has to hold it down. Tommy has to hold it down. That's all right. Tommy does what Tommy does. All right, let's get to some of your chats real quick. Juicy, please don't lose to the Jets at MetLife for a third year in a row. Yeah, please protect 17. He's gotten hurt like every game now. Boy, this is actually an extremely important game for the future of the Bills, in my opinion. Anyone else feel like if we lose this game, then Sean McDermott's job could be up in the air? And I'll answer that real quick. No, because the Bagulas are afraid of change or afraid of going out of their comfort zone. That's what the Bagulas do. Just like Brandon Beane doesn't like to step outside of a comfort zone and make trades. Right? This is how it works in Buffalo. All right, we got Mikey back. We got Mikey back.
That's was odd.
Right. Mikey's computer reset, but he's back. Hey, Mikey, would you like to do the intro again? Go ahead.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I am your host, Mikey. That is Tommy. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
My bad. It was weird. Like all of a sudden, my screen flashed. Like I lost my background, and then my computer went completely dark.
It's all good. It happens. Happy Friday, Mikey, and happy
Friday, brother.
Yeah, happy Friday to Bills Mafia out there, man, and everyone that went through that hurricane down in Florida, man. I hope everything. I hope you got out of that all right. Thoughts and prayers with you and your family if you're out there.
Yeah, Ravens for Life comes in and says, "I know McDermott's getting all the blame, but at the end of the day, Beane makes the team." The thing about the way Beane and McDermott work, they work in tandem. This is a dual issue. Beane hasn't had horrible drafts. The issue is he's paying a lot of money to our defensive line that's not producing. And this is like the one area he's not been able to get right since he's been here is the defensive line. We put so much money in that defensive line for it to fail year after year. Like really the last 2 weeks, our issue has been trench play.
Yeah.
So
not being able to just getting physically dominated the last 2 weeks, really. I mean, not so bad last week, but still wasn't great. And we're still really looking for that. I'll be honest with that edge, man, to get to the quarterback and make some real noise. I thought Gregory Rousseau could be it. I still think it's up in the air with him, but he's just not consistent enough, man. He's not. 3 sacks week 1. He hasn't had a sack since.
He hasn't had a sack, but he's been flashy.
No, I know he's getting pressure, but I'm talking about getting home, getting a sack, like a guy that getting up there with sacks.
Can I be perfectly honest?
Yeah,
I honestly think it's a McDermott defense thing because I'm watching guys leave here and get sacks.
Yeah, it's very well. Look at Jerry Hughes. Jerry Hughes left. Really good news, and older Jerry Hughes, by the way. So it could be like I'm not even going to debate you on that. It might be. But I will say this, like AJ Epinesa last year, I thought played better out the gate. I don't think he's playing good out the gate. Can he have a better second half of football coming up? When we get to that point, maybe. But he has 1 sack. Like, you got to do better. You got to do better, and you're starting. You know what I mean? Like, so I also think we have some players that are underperforming as well, on top of maybe scheme, and that goes for both sides of the ball. But it's especially with guys that are just got paid. I feel like we have a lot of underperforming players on this team, and it's not talked about a lot. Like, we talk about it, but I don't think it's talked about enough. Like, we all want to talk about we don't have salary cap and this and that. We can't afford it, but we can't afford these players. We're paying players that are underperforming. It's a problem.
Not only that, but we're paying players who aren't here anymore too.
Correct. You're right. That is correct.
We paid players to go away. Like, that is a GM thing.
That's true. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Beth McDermott needs to stop playing these games scared. I don't think it's in his nature not to play him scared. Listen, we're year 8 with him.
You're right.
And they always say growth mindset, grow. What we have learned is he hasn't grown in these close games.
Nope.
Go back 13 seconds. Last year it was the Eagles. He melted down at the end. His defense did against the Eagles. This year it was the Texans in the last 40 seconds. It's the same shit, just another season. He doesn't grow, and that's a problem.
Right. Yeah, he's not learning from the same. He's not growing as a coach. Like, he's a good coach. Like, we always say that. He's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
I think he's gone as far as he could take us. And Colin Cowherd said that 2 years ago, right? Like, and Colin Cowherd, by the way, continues to say that. And I know you can say what you want about him, but he's right. He's right. Like, the proof is in the pudding, guys. Like, you guys watch the same game we watch. It's the same mistakes. It's the same mistakes. And by the way, it's the same excuses, right? Like, if it was something he never did before, made a mistake, fine. We can go, you know what? Okay. Like, he says he owns it. Okay. We can move forward. He'll change his ways, but it's the same shit. It's the same mistakes over time management, clock management, always an issue with him. Costly timeouts that he uses that he shouldn't. Over and over.
Not on the same page with his offense or defense or special teams coordinator. Like, when it comes down to 13 seconds, we forgot to tell the kicker what to do.
Right.
How
do you not have communication? You're the head coach. Like,
we decided to throw the ball when Josh is 9 for 27.
Right.
He just got the air knocked out of him and getting the shit beat out of him for 3 games straight. And we decided to chuck the ball.
Right. The sad thing, though, to me with that, though, Mikey, like that, at least for that, let's talk about that particular moment in that game. The sad thing is, I think everybody, even people that don't watch football like crazy, if you watch that game, you would say, why don't they just kill the clock? They're taking overtime, especially what's going on in that game, right? Josh Allen struggling, offense and stuff. Like, I think we all could see it. Why doesn't our head coach, who's paid to do this for a living, right, year 8, see what we're seeing? I mean, I don't know if anyone that I talked to was like, hey, I don't blame the coach. Like, I wouldn't went for it. Like, I don't blame him at all. Like, who said that? I don't think anyone in their right mind said that. The only thing I said was give it a try on first down, right? You never know. Pass interference. But after that, bro, okay, that's it. You know what? Most coaches would have been like, we tried it. You know what? Now we're just going to kill the clock and punt the ball away with very little time. You know what I mean? Like, but no, that's not what he did. And that's why we lost, like, at the end of the day.
You can do that on every route concept, Roy. It's all about progression. We can say, the guy came open. The ball was gone when the guy came open underneath.
Yeah, exactly.
We can go back and nitpick all those things underneath, on every game, every loss, everything. You have to look at it through the progression that he was running. Also look at the entire game. So now all of a sudden Josh would be like, ooh, let me take underneath because, it may come open. No one had been getting open all day long.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
They shouldn't have even thrown the ball at that point.
Yeah, no. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Dangerous even. You're in your end zone. I just, the whole thing baffled me. I honestly too, I'll be real with you, Mikey, because McDermott usually plays it safe, right? Like he usually isn't ultra aggressive on offense in certain moments of game, right? We've noticed that. We said that in the past, right? Sometimes we're like, why isn't he going for it on 4th down? And at that moment, honest to God, I thought, okay, he's probably going to play it safe here, taking it overtime. And you know what? I don't blame him. I initially thought that's what he was going to do because McDermott usually kind of, teeters towards the play, safe play. And he did the total opposite. And I was like, what?
And I don't want to just say it's a McDermott thing. It's a Brady thing. Brady needs to learn from that as well. Josh needs to learn from that as well. Josh, I know your first read is outside and you're trying to go back shoulder to, Keon to get some yards and you underthrew it. But at the end of the day, be looking for the check down. Make that priority 1 versus priority 3 in your check downs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just get some yards. If you want to go and say that, that's fine.
Right.
If we want to criticize Josh there and say, but he ran through his progressions and his progression was outside. He was looking for a player to make a play. He underthrew it. It happens. The fact that they put him in the position to have to make that play is my bigger issue.
Yeah, I agree. I still think Josh is still going with strictly what Brady's calling. Clearly he could have checked out of that at some point, 2nd down, but no, I'm not, or at least told him, no, man, let's do it. He's still going with what's called, you got to kind of read it better, man. I feel like Josh has to take a little responsibility too, right? For what's going on. I feel it's not all on him, obviously. I think this is more coaching than anything, but I'm just saying, Josh, I feel like at some points of the game in general, not just that part, but some points of the game, I think Josh needs to start reading blitzes better, needs to check out of plays better, getting to the line quicker. And that's also on Joe Brady for probably either getting the play in late. What happened to getting to the line with 15 seconds left on the play clock where Josh can read the defense, change. We're getting to the line now at 5 seconds and we're having to rush plays. You know what I mean? It's starting to get real sloppy out there as well. And that's coaching as well. It's Brady.
Okay, Roy. We can, I watched all 22 clips too. We can agree to disagree. When I looked at it, Josh was going through progressions. His progression was outside. He went for the play. My issue isn't so much. Listen, Josh was 9 for 30. That's not a good day. He played like shit. He also had a bunch of free runners in his face, and he was trying to make plays, and it didn't work. At the end of the day, the entire offense played like shit. My issue is more, why the fuck are they chucking the ball down at all inside the 3-yard line with 40 seconds left and 3 timeouts from them when we have a punter who can't kick it more than 55 yards.
Right. Exactly. That too.
They're in field goal range the second they catch it. That's a problem.
Right.
Yeah, sloppy doesn't even begin to describe what we're seeing right now. You're right.
Yeah,
the Bills are playing too slow on offense. Maybe they need to go no huddle. That shit worked for them last year.
Yeah,
get rid of huddle up and just go no huddle
or up tempo. Whatever. You don't necessarily have to go no huddle, but you can go up tempo. Get to the line a lot. Like I said, get to the line quicker. This way you can get some more pre-snap motions going as well. Because when you're up to the line, Mikey, that's when if you're up there quick enough, that's when you can get creative with the pre-snap motions. You can do more than one if you're up there quick enough. I see the Chiefs do it all the time. All the time. They have multiple pre-snap motions.
Same with the 49ers, same with the Rams, same with
because they're
the
up
Vikings.
There. Yes, because they're running an offense. They're getting the play in. They're getting to the line. They're able to read a defense. More time for the quarterback to adjust. Whatever you got to do there. But we're getting to the line late now, which it wasn't the case the first 3 weeks. So I don't know what happened with Brady there and the miscommunication. But yeah, it's I don't know what we're seeing. I don't know what we're seeing right now. Like it's bad. Bad
We're seeing
offense.
discombobulated offense is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Triggs comes in and says trade for DK, free DK. Listen, DK is so talented. If we could trade for him, I would love it, but he deserves better than Geno, that's for damn sure.
And we had an opportunity, by the way, to have him initially.
Let's not go down that road.
So,
I'm with you here, Mud. The offensive line needs to step it up. Our protection has gotten worse and worse over the last 3 weeks. We're now at 49% pressure rate, and now we got free runners just coming at Josh.
Yeah. I almost feel
It's
like
nuts.
too, man. Like I don't know if that's the musical chair thing that we did this year by switching, getting rid of Morris.
The first 3 weeks we had the guys in.
It did, but we were going against different teams too. I think these last 2 teams are different opponents.
Well,
a little bit better opposition.
Yeah, they're bringing different guys, and here's the problem: we're trying to block 6 with 5. We're not leaving guys in to protect, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah,
guys aren't getting open, and we're not leaving guys in to protect.
And and I'll tell you what's too bad too. Like, and for as much as you guys like James Cook, he's bad at pass protection. So if he's in there, he can't even do that well. So if they're bringing it, he's the last guy that's gonna be capable of picking up a blitz. And for some reason, we like to go on these things. We go five sets, and we have nobody. Like that's where you get your free runners, and nobody can get separation. So you see, that's when Josh Allen kind of just throws it off his back foot, or gets sacked, or tries to do whatever. But I think
runs around
I think you got to stop doing that 5 set, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Get back to 12. Get back to 12.
Yeah, so you can figure this out, man.
Spin comes in and says our best 4 receiving weapons are Shakir, Kincaid, Coleman, and Knox. How about we run some 12 personnel without bringing in the extra offensive linemen? Just run normal 12 personnel.
Right.
I would love to see that, but for whatever reason, they can't figure this shit out.
No, and that goes on our offensive coordinator. It's his job.
Yeah. There's a lot of those guys out there. There's receivers to be had. It's one, can we find a way to get the money? And 2 is being gonna be willing to part way with his picks.
Right.
Go against his nature.
Right. Will he step outside of his comfort zone? All right. That's what we talk about a lot here, right? Comfort zone. And I think he has to, man. He has to, Mikey. Like, there's gonna come a time where he needs to step outside his comfort zone to better this team. And you asked me, I think 2 days ago when we were talking about this off air, when I text you, you're like, but does it really matter? Like, if we get it, let's say an Adams or a Cooper or whatever, does that receiver really make any change, like any difference? I think so. I get where you were going with it. And because we have more problems than just a receiver, offensive line, right? We just talked about it. Edge, defensive lines is starting to become a little bit an issue. Safety is becoming an issue. I get that. But I responded to you, and I think it was fair that we're getting players back on defense, which is good, right? Terrell Bernard just got back, and I feel like he was a little rusty last week. And look, he played really good for having a little rust, right? Teron Johnson's getting back. So I think our defense is going to start shaping back up.
Rapp
is back. So I feel like that part of the side of the ball is starting to shape back to what it was or what we thought it could be. And I feel like if we get a receiver that can create separation, one of these top receivers that are out there on the trade block, it will provide a spark at least. And I think it will help Josh Allen like it did in 2020, where, we had Cole Beasley, we had John Brown, but he needed that security, that go really, even though Beasley but he still needed that one guy that he really can count on. Yeah, but he's not healthy now, right?
I know.
Right? So
that's part of the problem.
I think you bring in a receiver. I think it brings a spark into this offense. I think it helps Josh out a lot with as far as a guy creating true separation. Then you could kind of teeter with Keon Coleman. We were talking about this pregame or pre-podcast that you could put him in a slot. You could do a little bit different now because Steve Smith talked about him. We talked about this. Like maybe putting him in a slot, Keon Coleman is might work. It might be better for him at times. So like bringing another receiver, I think we can start doing a little bit more with some of our other receivers, right? And also too, guys, Curtis Samuel, turf toe thing, it's back again. He re-aggravated it. I don't know if we're going to see or get what we wanted from Curtis Samuel this year. I hate to break the news to you. Now, maybe towards the tail end of the season, he gets healthy at some point. And we put him on it. Yeah, or we put him on an IR. And that's another thing, too, what we talked about. We bring in a receiver, a good one. It's very possible we can then maybe put Curtis Samuel on IR when, Khalil's back. Maybe put in, Hamler could come up for Curtis Samuel for those 4 games. And then we can get a healthy Curtis Samuel towards the tail end of the season going into the playoffs if we're a playoff team at that point. So I do think it would make a difference bringing a receiver with all that being said.
But then you also have to have the receiver that comes in, learns the offense, and gets on the same page.
I get that. But some receivers can catch on quick. I think everyone's different when it comes to, you know what I mean? Some players, I think, take a little longer, and some players could go on a team. We've seen it. We've seen players go on teams and just boom, they're making play first game 100 yards, you know what I mean? 200 yards. Like we've seen it before, and then we've also seen the opposite where it can take some time. So, but I got to tell you though, Mikey, is this Joe Brady off playbook that whoa,
I don't know.
You gotta learn, right? I'm just saying,
it depends what offense we're talking about. Week 1, 2, 3 offense where there's a bunch of motions and things, yes.
Right.
Or is it this last 3 where we're running 5 wides where we don't have 5 wide receivers?
Right. That's true.
So let's get caught up on some of these comments in here. Scott comes in and says this week, turf toe for Cook, Oliver soft tissue, Shakir ankle sprain, Johnson maybe. Who's next? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're just. Oh, I love this one. DK's the Derrick Henry of wide receivers.
Oh, he's an absolute, and he's young too. Like that's the thing with DK. I think he's young. Like he's still young.
I don't disagree with this, Roy. I think a lot of fans were fooled by the first 3 games.
Absolutely.
In the show. I don't like how they're being used either, though. That's part of my issue. It's not even so much the players. Like we talked about Keon, who is getting out-snapped by Mac Hollins. Like, are you kidding me? Why is Mac Hollins a focal point in our offense? That is a coaching issue.
Yep, I agree.
Slide Keon into the slot. Let him run some slot routes if Khalil's not going to be there.
Yep.
Bring up a KJ Handler. We brought up Shavers, and I think he played 1 play.
He didn't do anything. Yeah, didn't even get
like what was the point of that?
Right.
When Mac Hollins is your most targeted receivers, there's a freaking problem.
No, it's a big problem. And I mentioned that, Roy, too. I think we talked about that on Monday, me and Mikey, that at least I feel like, and I think Mikey agreed too, like we were given a little bit of smoke and mirrors in the offseason with how this offense is going to eat. Everybody's going to eat. And we bought into it, I think, because we saw the players we got and we were like, oh, okay, this guy can do this. Curtis Samuel. And in the first 3 games, here's where we kind of got fooled we got fooled, I think, by just the 3-0 start, but we weren't looking really at the stats because the stats weren't that great. Like the guys that we brought in weren't really doing much, right? Like MVS did nothing. Curtis Samuel did nothing. Keon Coleman was a little bit slow to start. Like nobody has really, except for Khalil Shakir, has had a big game. And Dalton Kincaid, okay.
And you call Shakir's a big game?
Right. I mean, he hasn't had 100 yet. He hasn't had 82, I think, was his most. Right? So,
this might be the worst start of Josh's career, too.
I think so, too. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like we kind of got a little bit fooled with that start. Because these guys, I don't think they can. This is just, I don't know if it's a bad receiving group. Like you said, maybe it's more so, I think Joe Brady needs to start being more creative on how he's using them. And if a player like Curtis Samuel is really that hurt where he can't be effective, put him on IR and put Hamler up there. Because what are we really missing with Samuel off the field? Nothing. What are we really missing?
Nothing.
Nothing. He's gained,
I think,
minus 1 yard.
Maybe a little bit. About 4 inches, 5 inches.
Right.
But he has better hands and he's faster.
Yeah, but not now with his turn. Clearly not. Like, I don't know if we're getting anything from him. So my point is, like, we're not missing anything, right? Like, he hasn't been this, man, we're going to miss Curtis Samuel.
Right? So
Yeah.
I think he's, what, 3 inches taller than Hamler?
I think I have to look. Hamler is short, but who cares? Hamler has the speed. Matter of fact, remember when we put Hamler in running back and he in preseason and he made, you saw the speed. Remember that? He got around the edge. Yeah. Why not do some creative stuff like bring him up, put Curtis Samuel on the 4-week IR, and run some, use Hamler, use his speed for plays like that. You be creative with him because he is capable of it. I'm not saying he's Curtis Samuel, but at least he's a healthy guy who has the speed right now that can do something like you can get creative with him. So I'm just throwing that out there.
No, you're not wrong. Being in McDermott and his coaching staff is just stubborn.
Oh, they're stubborn as hell.
They just do what they do.
Stubborn as
they
hell.
They refuse to change.
Yeah. So is our owner.
Beth comes in and says, by the way, boys, can we please take a moment and pray for those who are affected by Milton and those Florida hurricanes.
We said it earlier to start the show. Captain D, Daryl, my buddy, he lives in the heart of it where that happened. And he got out of it okay. Lost power for half a day or something like that. So he was good. Anthony, also on AFC Shakedown, lives over there as well. And he did, he got out of it fine. So, but of course, all the other people, thoughts and prayers to the people that are affected by it for sure.
This is a fantastic one from Span. Comes in as the teams are picking up that Allen's not running. So they're playing man rushing 3 and leaving a D line as a spy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what they're doing right now. They're playing man. Our guys aren't beating man. And, they're playing contain on Josh, and then they run with a spy. So when he rolls, they have someone there, because Josh isn't taking off.
He's not. And they understand that, right? Like we said that last week. He had an opportunity early in that game to pick up a first down. Easy. He had that, and he chose to make a tough pass that did not connect. And we got off the field. All he needed was 3 yards. I think it was like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
And he easily had the 3 yards.
Easily. He could have slid and everything. But then he ran later in the game, which was, I think at that point, I'll be honest with you, Mikey, I think it was more out of frustration when he started running towards the tail end of the game. Because I think at that point, he's like, fuck it. I can't rely on anyone else, right? I'm just going to do what I got to do. And hopefully, we win the game with me, doing everything I can.
Gunslinger Josh at the end of that game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He wasn't being the distributor. He was being the gunslinger. That's why he was, in the last 40 seconds, he was chucking it.
Yeah.
He was, by that time, he was pissed off and frustrated, and things weren't going well.
Exactly.
That's what Josh does. If we kept Ariza, probably wouldn't have been the same situation. Oh, Ariza would have booted the shit out of that.
He would have booted it 70 yards. They would have had it at their own 25. But we have a weak ass punter that we paid. Can't punt it 50 yards.
Spin. 100% defenses holding us in there. But here's the part of the problem. The defense is putting us in the hole.
Yeah, early. Right.
And then they tighten up.
Right. And the biggest problem with that, it wouldn't even be so much of a huge issue because they're not giving up crazy amount of points in the first half, but our offense is not doing anything. So, 14 points, 17 points is a lot when your offense is scoring 3. You know what I mean? It's tough to come back that when you're that behind that much, even when the defense has played way better in the second half of these games, but our offense is everything is they're stuck in the mud. Everything. It's like when we finally scored a touchdown, it's taking me right back the Ken Dorsey offense. When we finally score, it's like it took forever. It took a miracle play, or it just took forever the drive, and a lot of things had to go our way. Nothing is coming easy now over the last 2 weeks with this offense. Nothing is fluent. It's all problems, man. It's just not clean. It's not clean.
Yeah. Roy says, what teams only 6 games in the season are willing to trade away a good wide receiver? There's a handful of them right now.
Oh, a ton, Roy. A ton.
the Raiders had deactivated Devontae Adams for the last 2 games.
Yep.
The Titans aren't going nowhere fast, and they're already putting feelers out for D-Hop. The Cleveland and Amari are at odds, and that's been going on since the offseason. So they've put out feelers, so there's a ton of them out there. DK's now starting to get animated on the sidelines. So they're talking about things there. And they just went to 3-3. I don't think DK's on the move by any means, but
no, I don't think so either. They
it's
just
one of
paid
those,
him not too long
yeah,
ago either.
it's one of those things of Pickens and the Steelers are at odds over his attitude.
Right.
There's
a couple other too. I forget, but they're not bad receivers. I'll take most of them that are available right now. So
so there's receivers out there.
Absolutely.
Look, who's out sitting out there on free agency and no one's touched is Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
How have we not called him with Khalil down?
With all that experience he has too, it's really odd that he wouldn't be called or
nobody's
because he'd be cheap. He would be cheap. But there's something up with that. Maybe that's why, because that's an odd. Because there's teams that need, that are shorthanded right now. That is a weird thing.
I don't know. I just don't trust Joe. Yeah, Michael Thomas. Oh, yeah, he's going through the personal thing.
Right.
Trixon says, I don't trust Joe Brady with the number 1. That's another issue, is Joe Brady's not using these guys to their potential. He's not using them correctly.
I agree with that too.
I felt like if we would move Coleman into the slot and let him work on them over the middle of the field, he'd be way more productive. I would love to see Kincaid run more like seams.
Yeah.
But he's running is like bubble routes and short shit.
I agree. Like if you put Coleman to the slot, you don't have to always permanently put him there, but if you put him in a slot, he could beat linebackers, right? He could separate from most linebackers. And even against a smaller corner, nickel or whatever, he can out physical. He could be more physical and beat a slot corner. Like I'm just saying, like I think that would be a wise move, and then you can get more creative with Kincaid as well. Like I don't understand why Joe Brady's like almost like just dumbing down this playbook over the last 2 weeks with these receivers too. Everything's so basic. He needs to start being more creative with the guy. He has to learn these player strengths and weaknesses. I always talk about that. Come on, man. Like if you see a Keon Coleman struggling on the outside, then you put him to slot. Try something different. Stop doing the same thing that's not working or he's struggling at. Help him out. Like that's your job, is to help your players out. Put him in the right place to succeed.
Players also need to execute. Catch the fucking ball when
I agree with that.
We have too many of the drive killer drops.
But that's
on third down. That would move against guys who have elite hands.
Yeah, it's an ongoing. And I think Kincaid is that bothers me more than Coleman.
Yeah,
because Kincaid,
I've seen Coleman make those good catches. Kincaid's dropping easy ones that would move the sticks.
Yeah, and you're in year 2, bro. Like, come on, man. And you're a first round, by the way. You're a first round that we traded up for. Like Keon Coleman, second round. And say what you want, he's still a second round. We didn't trade up. He's second round. So Kincaid, we went up and got. Like, you got to play better. And he was supposed to be our focal point of the offense with Shakir this year, and he's just really underperforming.
Yep. Speaking of, we have a simpler offense than we had with Dorsey and Dable. Yeah, we took out all the option routes. Problem is, no one's getting separation, and when they do, and Josh throws it to him, a lot of them drops. Like you can't drop the fucking ball, man.
No.
And you say, I say, get Cooper. Cooper's notorious for drops. Do you really want to bring another guy in here who drops the ball?
He's not as bad as MVS, and he gets better separation. I mean, and he's cheaper. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're trying, I think they're trying to get an Adams deal done. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think that one intrigues Brandon Beane the most. And I think that's why our name is, Adams. I think that's why our name is.
Well, it'll also hurt the Jets.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, I think that one intrigues him out of all. It seems like that one maybe has his interest the most. Not saying he may not do anything. But I think Adams is the one that
what we want
stands
Coleman
out
to turn into.
Yeah. By the way, Did you find that interesting that Adams followed Josh Allen yesterday?
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. It
Well,
could
you
be
heard.
nothing. Players
Did
do
you
that all the
watch?
time. They like to troll, but
You watch the Up and Adams show at all and see
No.
that something Reese, the former Raiders guy,
Okay.
who's close to the situation, said keep an eye on Buffalo as the dark
Okay.
horse for Adams.
Okay. I
You know?
hope, man. I hope that I think what's going on here, at least from the Raiders and everyone else that's trying to get with Adams, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to work a deal where the Raiders eat some of the contract. I think I don't think it's just Buffalo. I think it's most teams right now.
He said it's going to be over the weeks in the coming weeks. It's not going to be days.
Yeah.
It's going to be weeks.
All
right, let me see if I can catch up on some of these.
Yeah,
comments.
go for it.
Brady's a schemer. He's been playing around too much, overthinking. He is a schemer. He has been overthinking it himself. Did you hear about James Cook having a run-in with the law? No,
I did. It's not. So it was a story that got overblown up. It's already done. So basically, I'll give you a quick rundown of it, Mikey, and everyone in the chat. He went to a nightclub, I believe, in Buffalo, and it was, I think, a $800 bill, $700 bill, and one reason or the other, he forgot to pay, or who knows? When you're a celebrity, sometimes that happens and things happen. You get out of there quick. But he took care of it, and he already paid it, and he tipped him well, whatever. So the bar's like, hey, he's welcome back. We love him. Mistakes happen. So nothing happened law-wise. It was a mistake, and he wanted a pan. So, yeah.
Keanu's not our Jesus. Keanu's not our Jesus. We don't have a Jefferson. We need to open the field and give Josh better options. Well, we have what we have. Bean, yep. Time to whip it out. There are no reports out there about Cook. Okay, about Cook.
Yeah,
Jay needs to come out hot.
Yeah,
be willing to take the check downs and pick up the easy. He has a tendency to let the Jets D get in his head, and that's the concerning part. You're right, Cycle. Josh is. I think the Ravens and the Texans got in his head last 2 weeks. Josh needs to buy in. Well, here's the problem. Josh bought into it early, and everyone was catching the ball. Over the last 2 weeks, when he does that check down and the guys drop it, he tends to go away from it, and then he feels like he has to play Superman.
Yeah, and honestly, he just, I don't think he has anyone right now that he can rely on. I got to be real with you. Like,
with
I
Shakira
think
out of the lineup, no.
Yeah, with Shakira, that's what I'm saying. With Shakira out of the lineup, he's having a tough time. And we talked about this, a couple years back. Remember, like when we were having the same issue at wide receiver, if you remember, and we went ahead and brought in John Brown. Remember, and Cole Beasley. Remember, we brought Cole
him back after the fact.
Because we needed a security blanket. Josh needs somebody he could trust, go to, right? And I feel like right now with Cleo down, he just doesn't have that. And I think Kincaid was building that. But with the drops from Kincaid now, I think that is going away. And that's why I keep saying, why isn't Dawson Knox more involved? Like, they have a good chemistry. Like, I've seen Dawson Knox and Josh Allen connect and have good games together. Dawson Knox is a complete no-show in this offense. And I don't know if that's him, Brady, or a combination of both. But I feel like you got to get Knox involved. And not a lot of people talking about Dawson Knox because I think he's like almost forgotten. And he shouldn't be. He's getting paid big money. He's been on this offense for a long time. He's very familiar with Josh Allen. There's no excuse. Get him involved. Find a way to get a guy that scored 9 touchdowns like 2 years ago. Get him involved. We know what Dawson Knox is capable of. But if you're not going to use him, then here we are. We're struggling. Like, get your playmakers involved. He is a playmaker. He can be, at least, So I don't know. Like, stop with the Mac Hollins thing. Like let's go to different options. Get play calls for Knox and Kincaid, your playmakers. Keon. I mean, these are what we are right now. This is what we have. Stop with the Mac Hollins thing. That's all.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. There was some talk in here about Hunter Renfrow. Bill's not going after D Hop because he doesn't practice. McDermott wouldn't like that. I agree with those pieces. I just don't think Bean's gonna change his ways. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
As much as we want it,
tough.
I just don't see it. Let him build his confidence in the game, then give him outside. At the end of the day, I don't like our matchup with Cook being down, with Shakir being down. You know what I mean? Our offensive line struggling going against a Jets team who just fired their head coach.
Yeah. Jeez.
it's
That's
just
crazy.
I don't
knew
like
they would
this.
do it. I knew they were going to fire Salah, by the way. I just didn't know that. I didn't think it was going to be that early in the season. I expected it sometime. But damn, like Woody John, the owner there, was like, I've seen enough.
Yeah, Beth. MVS was a waste. Like, what a
total waste. I hated that. I hated that signing from the beginning. I thought
the Chiefs needed receivers and let him go.
Right.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Yep. And then he got hurt right away in camp. I'm like, and then when he came back camp, he's dropping passes wide open. I'm like, oh, this guy. Here we go. Here we go.
So here's the positive. We're in week 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's still a lot of season left to get guys right, get guys going. You know what I mean? No matter what happens on Monday night, we're going to be at least 500.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what I mean? There are positives to this.
Sure. Yeah, it's over. That you already paid. Mikey, did you have any news, by the way? Normally you have some news, or no, you didn't have any.
We have some. Tomlin said that Russell Wilson's going to probably play BQB2. Fields is going to start against the Raiders.
All right.
Colts Anthony Richardson is set to play. I know.
All right.
I was waiting for that. Pittman is a game time decision, though. The 49ers open the practice windows for Ricky Pearsall, but not CMC. So
that's a big loss, CMC.
And they lost Mason last night, and they lost their other one. So the rookie Isaac Granando, the kid that I wanted, the 6'2", 230-something pounds that runs 4.33, he broke the long one last night and slid.
I saw that smart play.
Touchdown.
Good, yeah, smart play for the kid. Yeah,
run it down and then give it to the fullback for the touchdown.
Yep.
He's probably going to be their back for a little while. OC says Spencer Rattler, the rookie, is getting the start this week, and he has some swag to him.
Oh, swag.
Wow. So they said,
swag.
Romeo Doubs wishes he had handled the absent differently. He has returned to practice.
Good for Romeo Doubs. Okay.
He's returned to practice, and he says he wishes he would have handled it differently rather than just ghosting the team for multiple days.
Okay.
Titans quarterback Levis will start against the Colts.
Whoa.
Yep. Kendricks joins Micah Parsons on the sidelines for the Cowboys. Micah Parsons isn't home.
All right. Okay.
So not a ton of injury-related stuff. Oh, and the last one was Bills Allen concussion properly checked.
In your face, people.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. The one team around the league that everyone's talking about the Ravens right now. The one team people aren't talking about is what the hell's wrong is the Bengals.
Man, that was a close game. They gave the Ravens a fight, better than us.
Yeah. They blew it. They had it and they blew it.
Absolutely. Yeah, they blew it.
And they've been blowing a lot of games at the end lately.
They blew it. Yeah. Football's tough, man. Any given Sunday and one bad play call, one bad coaching decision can change the course of a game just like that, bro. Just like that.
Josh is on year 7, not year 8. Still got happy feet. He hit his ceiling. I don't think Josh has hit his ceiling. I don't think Josh.
Yeah, he's on year 7.
Yeah,
he's on year 7. And
it's funny how 2 games change everyone's talk. 2 games ago, Josh couldn't do no wrong. This is the best version we've ever seen.
Right.
And it had, a really bad one last week. Everyone's like, "Oh, he hit a ceiling. He sucks. We're never going to do anything again." I'm not sure we're there. Too. I don't believe he's hit his ceiling. Josh Allen's ceiling is, is probably the greatest quarterback in the league when he's playing his best ball. Like he's wheeling, dealing. He can run, he can throw, he can do all the things. We've seen Josh at his ceiling.
Yeah, I don't think he's reached it. But I also think like
he's inconsistent.
You got it. Yeah, he is. And I also feel like he needs help. I mean, it's a team sport. Like that's the one thing too that bothers me. Like when people are like, "Oh, he can't get the job done." Like it's like, bro, you do know it's a team game, right? Like everybody has to do their part. Obviously the quarterback takes the biggest hit out of all the players, but at the end of the day, if your offensive line is playing like shit, it makes it really, really tough for a quarterback to look good, right? If your receivers are dropping passes or not getting separation, it makes it really, really tough for a quarterback to win a game. Or if your offense is doing great and your defense sucks or gives up, it's tough to win in the NFL. Everyone has to play their part. Everybody, man. So I don't always agree with that narrative. Now, if Josh was playing terrible playoff football, which, by the way, he hasn't. He's set like records. Like he's done really well. So I don't believe in that narrative like that Josh Allen's is back or like he's has some monster games and big moments when we needed him the most. So that's not a quarterback that's regressed.
This also isn't new. The Bills go through. This is about the time of year the Bills start sliding and dropping someone and looking clunky. And
you're right.
This is about the time that happens. Beth comes in and says Josh needs to forget about who we're playing. He psychs himself out. I don't think Josh is that mentally, handicapped that he would psych himself out against the team. Do you believe that?
No, I think he gets sometimes a little worked up. I think it's more so on opening day, like opening day, like first game of the season. I feel like he does a little bit, and he admits that, and I think a lot of players kind of get that. But no, I don't think so. I just think right now, man, the truth and reality of this is one of the worst receiving groups that Josh has been with since his rookie year. I don't think it's his rookie year bad, but I do believe
that's close.
And it's close because like with a healthy Khalil Shakir, I would say it's not so close.
Yeah.
Like that 20, but with a banged up Khalil Shakir, who probably even when he returns is not going to be at 100%. High ankle sprains, I keep telling you guys, they're tough to come back from. And with the way Kincaid has kind of regressed, and Dawson Knox not being used, and then the guys that we brung in, like Curtis Samuel, who was supposed to be this Swiss Army knife, is hurt or whatever, not being used right, whatever you want to say. Yeah, this offense is one of the worst that Josh has worked with for sure. The offensive line is better, I think, than the 2018 offensive line. But
oh God, yes,
yeah, but in the running back, I think we had McCoy that year, so I'll say same because McCoy was just such a dog. But yeah, I mean it's definitely the second worst offense I think that Josh has been with. So that's why I keep saying I think Bean does need to give him some help because man, you got to get some spark to this team. You got to give something for Josh to rely on more. Like because the guys he has right now, I don't think he can rely on anybody right now. I honestly don't. I think everybody right now is very unreliable.
James Brooks, his most reliable point now. He may not even be playing this week. But Robert comes in and says, "Do you feel Josh is getting tired of having a media core offensive line? Never had number one pick on the offensive line. Never had number one wide receiver." I think the issue is I don't think we put enough support around him.
Yeah.
Like the best, the best skill position was the year we lost at 13 seconds, where we had Diggs, we had Davis, we had Sanders, we had Knox. Like Josh had more guys to throw to. Sanders was a legit wide receiver. You know what I mean? He was a
Absolutely.
legit 2.
No, he was
And
good.
which made Gavis the 3. Like that was the best offense that Josh has been with. But since then, it's been just mediocre guys bringing in 1-year guys over and over and over.
Yep.
This year was the year we drafted one, but we only drafted one.
Right.
So I think they put all their money on defense because we have a defensive head coach. And do I think Josh getting tired of it? No, because he's not saying anything. When he gets tired of it, he'll say something.
And even then, I don't think he will. I don't. I think Josh Allen is the type. He is not going to throw anybody under the bus, even if he agrees with, let's say, the day McDermott gets fired. He will not say anything about it. He'll probably say, I feel bad. You know, like I played a part of that or something, like just like he did with Ken Dorsey. When Ken Dorsey was fired, it wasn't like he was like, man, thank God. You know, we got a reliable guy, Joe Brady. Now, like he felt bad. Right. Like I don't even with Kelvin Benjamin, he didn't throw under the bus. And Kelvin Benjamin deserved to be thrown under the bus. So I don't think you'll ever get that from him, regardless if he is happy or not. Like he's not Stephon Diggs. He's not going to go on Twitter and give these cryptic messages, right? Where we gotta kind of read between the lines, right? He's not. I don't think Josh Allen's ever going to be that dude. He's not vocal like that, right? He's respectful. He's going to, he has remember too, though, he has a lot of history with Sean McDermott, with his coaching staff, Brandon Beane. Like, I just don't see him.
He was also a zero-star recruit that had to fight for everything. And these are the 2 guys who went and plugged him in the first round.
Exactly.
As he was falling. You have to remember, he also had the draft day issue with Twitter and they still took the chance on him at 7. So I don't know if he's ever going to actually say anything. Colleen comes in and says Knox is never invisible. He's an amazing blocker, and one of these days he's going to get separation, start making plays. If they would just throw him the damn ball. When I say he's invisible, it's not that he's really invisible. Josh just doesn't throw it to him. They don't send him out on routes.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that, Colleen. I think it's this. Mikey's right. Like I don't think they're scheming up anything for him other than blocking. Mm-hmm. He's out there blocking. Yes, okay, great. He's an amazing blocker, but are you paying Dawson Knox that much money to be an amazing blocker? He's not an offensive lineman. If he was, then great. Right? Then he give me an offensive lineman. But that's not what he is. He's a tight end who's supposed to produce and block. That's fine. But he's not producing for the offense, meaning we need him to be out there catching touchdowns and making plays like he was in 2021. Right? So, yeah, we need that, or was it 2022? We need that Dawson Knox back that had the 9 touchdowns. We need that Dawson Knox that we saw against the Chiefs 2 years ago in the regular season that was catching touchdown pass, like going down, getting 40-yard passes from Josh Allen. Teams right now, I'll be honest with you, I think right now would be the perfect time to use Dawson Knox because I don't think teams are even concerned about Dawson Knox. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think defensive coordinators are even game planning for Dawson Knox.
No.
Start using him. Like, you know what I mean? Because right now, I think defensive coordinators are not, I know it. They're not afraid of this offense. They don't think we can go deep. They're not, they don't think there's no player on this offense that they're shaking in their boots right now. So that's what's going on right now. And they're right. There is no player right now for the Buffalo Bills stepping up. So get Dawson Knox involved. Like, go ahead. Let's do something different, Joe Brady.
Beth comes in and says it's not regression, or is it regression, or is it play calling? Kincaid is not being used the way he was last year. The times he is used that way, he picks up big yards. When we send him down the field, he tends to pick up, good chunks. We just don't send him down the field a lot. It's the way he's being used. Oh, I love this one from Roy. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on YouTube. Josh did not have a concussion. He was thinking about Steinfeld the night before. So he was laying there thinking about his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Sure. He's like, oh, I could be here getting my ass kicked, or I could be laying next to her.
I mean, listen, we talked about Monday. He was knocked out for a second. But if he snapped out of it, he snapped out of it. Yeah. Boxers do it all the time. It is what it is.
Oh, how much you want to bet it's gonna be Gabe Davis that we trade for? I might quit podcasting if we trade for Gabe Davis.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen. They're not going to bring that guy back.
Yeah.
You know what? Very like we brung now, mind you, if he somehow cut him or something, yeah, we love bringing back players that are free agent, like just sitting out there, nobody's grabbing. You know, we've done that a gazillion times, like for sure. Matter of fact, guys, I joked around and sent Mikey a text on Tuesday. I was like, the Bills signed John Brown.
My response was, "What, really?" Because that's such a Brandon Bean thing to do,
right? The Buffalo Bills are bringing back a familiar face, John Brown.
I'm with you, Robert. We need to go with Coleman over Hollins.
Absolutely.
Kincaid is yet to be used right since he got drafted. Imagine that. And a tight end prospect that went to a team that doesn't know how to use tight ends.
Right. Like put Kincaid with the Cowboys. Put Kincaid with the Bengals, with the Chiefs, with the Ravens even. Like the dude would be the numbers would be double, right? Like I'm telling you. He's just not I don't get it. That is a little but the flip side though, when he does get opportunities, you can't drop the ball at the same time. Yeah. Like he is.
He only has a couple this year, but
no, I know, but man, yeah, but you can't. Yeah. Easy ones too. Easy drops.
All right, so we're 57
I got some stuff tonight, by the way.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We're about 57 minutes into this thing. I know I still have my keys to the game.
Yeah,
you want to do the keys or do you want to do this first?
We could dive whatever you want to do. We'll dive into this real quick.
Okay.
So we got the 6 storylines. I had 2, and we'll see how the time goes, but we'll do the storylines, and then we'll go to your keys of the game. Then maybe we'll do the 5 things to watch. So let's start with this first. 6 storylines, Mikey. These are always good. Bills Wire, thank you once again. You're like our 3rd co-host when Mikey's here, and my 2nd co-host when Mikey's gone. So here we go. 6 storylines. First one. Oh, new coach on deck. Yeah, the biggest news of the NFL week will be right in front of the Bills. The Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh and named defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich as the interim. In terms of the Bills, they will need to be ready for this. A team usually gets a new coach bump, which leads to a rejuvenated locker room. By the way, I don't know if you heard this, but the owner, Woody Johnson, had security escort Robert Saleh out of the building after he fired him, which is, they say it's kind of rare. It doesn't happen a lot in the NFL when a coach gets fired that you have security escort you out of the building. So I'm thinking Woody Johnson, something happened there, or Woody Johnson was
Adam Gates didn't get walked out.
Yeah, right. I know. So something was going on there, which is funny. Also, but anyways, what do you think about that?
They talk about the new coach bump, but everything I've heard is everyone's pissed off that they let him go because they loved Saleh, especially on the defense. Yeah. So will it be a new coach bump? Because it's not just a new head coach, it's a new OC as well.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a Jets fan, so I can't speak for Jets Nation or whatever they call themselves. But from everything I could see or heard from players' interviews, you're right. Like the players seem to really like Saleh, but it's a business, and I don't blame Woody Johnson. He had a terrible record. Now, mind you, though, I'd fire the GM after this season too, because he's the one that put Robert Saleh in a bad position by drafting that terrible quarterback, Wilson. So just throwing that out there too. And is it really Saleh's fault that Rodgers got his Achilles the first year he had him? Second year, yeah, things aren't going great. But to be fair, they brung in the guy that Rodgers wanted to call offensive plays, and it didn't work. So.
No, not only that, but what about this Hassan Reddick issue?
Oh, right. That goes back.
They traded their best D end for Hassan Reddick, who hasn't showed. He just fired his agent to get a new agent.
I don't even think he's coming back, bro.
I think he'll be back around week 10 because if he wants
to get paid.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I don't know if he plays. I don't know if he
season.
plays. He may just be
He
on
may
the
come back
sideline.
and hold in. Yeah.
Yep. You want me to move on to the next, or you have any comments you want to go to?
Roy comes in and says, "Can't wait till we get to the prediction portion." Spin comes in and says the Jets fire Saw, pisses off defense. You know, new head coach demotes Nate Hackett, so pisses off the offense. You know, at least their special teams coach isn't pissed off. Everyone else is in that
Right.
organization. You know, it's weird.
Yep. You ready for the next? Here we go.
Yep.
An old friend got demoted. After Ubrick was named interim head coach, he changed up his staff. Nate Hackett is the offensive coordinator in New York. However, he was stripped of play calling duties. Now passing game coordinator Todd Downing will do so. Again, the Bills have to be ready for potentially a completely new offense facing them in week 6. Also, it's worth noting this is the same Hackett that was Buffalo's offensive coordinator from 2013 to 2014 on Doug Marone's coaching staff. So what do you think about that change of guard on as far as offense goes?
I don't think you're going to see much difference. You might see more run heavy rather than pass heavy because Downey comes from the Tennessee tree when he had Derrick Henry and he ran a lot, but he got fired from Tennessee for a reason too. Right. He's one of those retread offensive coordinators. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
By the way, we got a celebrity in a former Bills player, John Smoke Brown, is in the chat. If you guys want to say hi to him, he's here.
Bring me back. I need a new Land Rover.
Yeah. All right, welcome to the Mafia Sports Report, John Smoke Brown. You want to answer that before I go to the next?
It's not Salah's fault that his offense has been bad. Yes, it is. Same shit we were saying about McDermott. At the end of the day, it falls on Salah.
Absolutely.
It's not Salah's fault that Aaron Rodgers was brought there.
Right.
And he's had to deal with Aaron Rodgers. You know,
there was rumors that he was going to fire Hackett, by the way, right before he got fired. So clearly there's an offensive struggle in New Jersey. But hey, not our problem. We got our own fucking problems. Let's go.
Yeah, we do.
Prime time lights in this shitty ass stadium. All that said, this game will be in the spotlight. The Monday Night Football one. The Bills and Jets finish off the weekend of football, and it's Buffalo's last one for a while. The next time the Bills featured on primetime is in week 13 against the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. So, primetime's fun, but man.
Before that, they play the Chiefs in the spotlight game.
Which is basically,
which is basically a primetime game. Like most of the nation gets it. It's just not late at night. That's all. James Cook anytime TDs. If James Cook plays.
Right.
Anytime TD, that means in his dream. Does that count? If I dream about James Cook getting a TD, do I win?
Yeah. If he even sees the field. All right, let's get to the next. All right. Rightening the ship. There's Josh Allen. He's like, oh, God, it's fucking off. Look at him. What do you think he's saying right now? This fucking receivers. I got. Can't
like, what
fucking
the
get
fuck
up.
is going on? What happened to our offense?
Right. What's going on with this?
These are the same receivers we had the first 3 weeks. Like, what the fuck happened? To, the motions and the easy button throws. Like, where the fuck did those go?
Right. He's like, Brandon Bean, Matt Collins, cool guy and all, but can you bring me a real receiver? Like, what the fuck, dude? All right. The Bills' offense did not look right during their loss to the Texans. In fact, they looked terrible. Quarterback Josh Allen's lack of talent around him really showed up for the first time. Regardless of who is playing alongside him, Buffalo's offensive coordinator Joe Brady has to earn his pay this week as the Jets have one of the best defenses in the NFL. New Jersey has allowed 292.3 yards per game. That's the third best in football. So their defense is still humming. And that is a problem against our offense that is not humming. That is the opposite of humming. It is a car that's been sitting in the driveway that will not start, right? Or is running on one cylinder, barely gets you up to
sputtering down the highway. It might get you there, but man, it's a crapshoot.
Right.
It's a crapshoot. Trixman says we gotta pray our players come out of this stadium injury free. That turf. It's
Oh,
probably
worst.
the reason why you won't see Shakir and a bunch of those guys that are battling foot injuries.
Yeah. And you want to hear some
Yeah.
fucked up? You want to hear even more fucked up news? The Giants play there Sunday. Like, we got to replay very next day on that terrible turf. So why would they do that? Like, why? Knowing that stadium, that turf is already jacked up. You're gonna play on it 2 days in a row. I mean, it's just so stupid. The NFL, come on, man.
Yeah, it says. I mean, there was a video where Josh Allen took off his helmet and screamed the F bomb when Holland dropped the ball.
Yep.
I do think he's getting frustrated with the amount of drops that are happening.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like the whole point of bringing these guys in, and I didn't mean to cut you off there. The whole point of bringing these guys in where they are supposed to have better hands. They don't get the separation, but they are contested catch guys who have better hands.
Right. You saw Geno Smith last night just absolutely tear up that tablet on his head. Did you see that or no?
Yeah, he bounced off his head and then threw it on the ground.
He went boom.
And then chucked it on the ground. Yeah. Colleen comes in and says, "I'm sorry, but I think Gabe Davis would be an excellent addition back on our team."
No.
For $12 million a year,
now,
no thank you.
Yeah, for not that money.
If you want to go back and give him what he made last year,
right.
Sure, but not for $12 million a year.
Absolutely. Like, would I take Gabe Davis back on his rookie deal? Sure. Hell yeah. Give me back Gabe Davis.
I thought as everybody eats, but it feels like nobody's eating. Not right now. They're not.
No, man. Nobody's eating nothing.
Nobody's eating right now. The last 2 weeks.
Roman noodles.
They turned off the tap. You can't even make the top ramen.
You can't even.
There's no water.
Nothing. Yeah.
You know,
the store brand Roman noodles, not even the brand.
And the sad part is now we're playing the best of the defenses that we're going to play all year.
I know.
I mean, we do play the Chiefs, and they have a really good defense too.
Oh, look at this guy.
McDermott's look.
Oh, look at him, Mikey. What's he doing?
Making me sick.
Oh, man. After the way the Bills handled the clock at the end of their loss to the Texans, a lot of NFL analysts and football fans came for Sean McDermott. Oh, really? Yeah. His questionable decision-making led to the loss. Yes. Now McDermott has to put all that behind him and focus at the task at hand in the Jets. Whoever wins this one is in first place of the AFC East. If McDermott makes another poor choice like last week, he could be on the hot seat, and no, he won't be.
He won't be on the hot seat. But I will say he got lucky that the Jets fired Saleh on Tuesday because he was getting reamed.
Oh, it took some
on Monday.
Absolutely.
And then Saleh got canned on Tuesday, and the whole news cycle shifted from how bad McDermott's coaching decisions have been to
took the heat off.
Yep. He got lucky.
Took the heat off. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
What? McDermott made a mistake here. Hold my beer. I'll help you out.
Yeah. Let me show you how. Woody Johnson like. Let me show you how it's done, Bagulas. Here we go to the next one. Injury watch. Oh boy. As has been a trend throughout the season, the Bills injury report will be watched very closely. We knew wide receiver Khalil Shakir ankle would be on it, and Buffalo struggled without him. Can he return? Making matters worse, Pro Bowl running back James Cook has a foot injury now. And and that's the end of that article. So good article there. But injuries are a thing now in Buffalo. We used to brag on this channel about how we were
all our stupid PR.
Yeah, and the PR came out with that that fake ambulance. Someone's hurt in 2021, and has ruined that. So we are at it, man.
Trick Simpson says, I think we're going to see Allen throw his helmet and yelling on sidelines if receivers continue to drop the ball. I want to see that fire from him.
Absolutely. I don't mind.
Like I'm done with button up Josh. Start dropping the F-bombs. Start holding these guys accountable. Get in their face. Turn into Tom Brady. Tom Brady used to rip people on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But they respected him though. You know what I mean? Like, like Tom Brady's gonna he's gonna give you the damn ball, but you better fucking catch him off fire. He'll throw your way. You better catch it.
And the sad part about that spin is our offense getting hurt. We don't have the depth on offense that we do on defense.
No.
We can't afford to get these guys hurt.
No.
But it sounds like it's going to be a Ray Davis show.
Yeah, it's his first opportunity to be the man. RB1 if Cook doesn't suit up, which is good. Good for him. But man, like I really, the more I think about the Curtis Samuel thing, man, is the more I want Hamler to be called up. I got to be real with you because I think it's going back to preseason. The reason why I'm thinking about it too is, man, just going back to that one preseason. I know it's preseason. You can't always go on preseason, but when we had all those injuries, I think we had a couple injuries, right? We didn't have any running backs in that game, and Hamler came in. And just that one play, I'm like, damn, his speed was just, look at that. Like, just him getting to the edge
was evident. It was evident.
It was evident. Yeah, like this dude can, make something out of nothing because of his speed. And right now, we just don't have that with Curtis Samuel because he's obviously a little playing in pain. But I don't think they do it. But I think at this point, when your offense is struggling so bad, why not just try something outside the box that you know what I mean? Like, why not put Keon Coleman in the slot? Why not call Hamler up and rest Curtis Samuel, who's not doing anything anyways? Like, I'm just saying, throwing it out there. Why not use Dawson Knox more? Like, it's time for Joe Brady, especially in this game. I'm not saying trick plays, but get these other weapons that you're not really using right, and use them in different ways. Try to mix it up. Throw something at the Jets that's different.
Easy button throws.
Yes, and but also throw different looks. Don't be so generic and also predictable. Yeah, don't run the ball on first down every fucking play. Like, mix that shit up, man. It's okay. And now you're going against a very good defense who's understands, probably watched our film over the last 2 weeks and is just licking their chops going, if you're going to bring what you brought in the last 2 weeks, we're going to fuck shit up. So I hope Joe Brady understands this and mixes it up compared to what he was doing the last 2 weeks. Yes.
Let me get back into the chat.
Yep.
Before defense, we got that one. I hope the hell they did practice with holding on to the ball. Thing is tough. We've seen Allen do it before on the sidelines against Miami. Yeah, he has gotten mad. Robert comes in and says, to me, the Bills have regressed since the 13-second game. Bills aren't as talented today as they were in 2021. Josh has never had the same players on the offensive line for 3 years. They've never had the same offensive line the next year. We've always had some sort of movement in our offensive line. We've never kept the same guys. Now, this group is signed through 2025, the end of next year. So this might be the first time he ever has that. But this group right now isn't getting the job done.
Yeah, and Robert, you're right. Like, I think this is as far as offense goes, I think our defense, I'll be real with you. I think our defense is about the same. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even with the guys that left the building, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, what's his name? Our corner, Trey White. Even with those guys gone, I still feel like our defense is still pretty much where it's been. It's still steady. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not super concerned about our defense. I'm gonna be totally real with you guys. I don't think it's playing at its best right now, but I also factor in the guys we are missing that's on this team that are coming back. That's why I'm not like super concerned about this defense. I am super concerned about the offense. Super, super concerned because we have injuries now. So guys that aren't even playing well anyways to begin with. And we have an offensive line that is regressing. And we have a quarterback who's starting, you could clearly see, getting a little frustrated and doing plays that he normally didn't do the first 3 weeks, starting to throw deep, starting to just play differently because he has to be Superman, and it's crazy. But that's why I'm going with this. I think our offense is one of the worst I've seen since I've been watching Josh Allen since he's been drafted here since 2018. It's bad. Can it get better? I think it can. But Joe Brady needs to. That's on Joe Brady. He needs to figure this out with the players he has for now, Mikey. Now, if a trade is made, okay, all right, that will help. But for now, there is no trade. You got what you got. Joe Brady has to figure it out, right? You have to figure it out with the players you got now in place because there's nobody else, right?
No one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save us.
Right. Nobody's going to save us.
Spain comes in and says, I think they make Ty Johnson RB1. I hope not.
No, that would be, I wouldn't like that.
Roy says,
you could split carries, though.
Darrington Evans is in his practice window. Maybe he's RB3. I would love to see Frank Gore call.
I don't mind Evans either. And Gore, you're right.
I would love to see Gore call up.
Why not? You're right. I totally forgot. And I like Evans, but you're right. I thought Gore. I think he had the best preseason out of all the rookie running backs, if I'm not mistaken.
I would love to see if we're going to be a heavy run team.
You know what, though? I don't think they do that with the Jets. Because McDermott is McDermott.
Their weakness against the run, though. Their weakness is against the run.
McDermott, I just feel like he's one of those sticklers where he's going to have a veteran. Get Ty Johnson. Even though, we have the rookie, but I don't know if he calls up. But you're right. I would. I would definitely see what Frank Gore's. Why not? Right? Here's your opportunity. You're a man short. You don't need to make him RB1 or even RB2. But why not put him in there and see what he has give him a couple opportunities to run the ball.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, you have a bright spot. Yeah, he surprised you. And then you can figure out what to do moving forward with James Cook and him, and Ray Davis. So
Jessica comes in and said, I had to come to your show. BF is turning into some wannabe gatekeepers. I don't know what that means, but okay. Welcome. Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, appreciate it. I don't know what gatekeepers is. Yeah. I think because they ignore the chat, maybe.
Unless you pay them, and then half the time they ignore you anyway.
Yeah, you better pay them.
I try to get to the chat. Sometimes Tommy goes long-winded, and I get behind on the chat.
I do. But it is tough. I will say, though, when you go solo, Mikey, I try. Sometimes I try my best, and it's not. When you guys are like lit, I'm going to tell you, it's not as easy as you think.
It's hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up. It is.
Also,
it is.
Our chat is so great. Everyone who comes here is
they're
great.
Awesome.
They all feel the same way we feel about this team. They love it. They want to find the problems. They want to help fix the problems and give their opinion, which is awesome because it helps us drive this show.
Absolutely.
Do you think McDermott gets fired if we lose against the Jets?
No.
I don't think McDermott gets fired if we have a bad year because this was the reset year.
Right. Yeah. There's always
and they want him for the opening.
Yeah. There's always some type of reasoning I think the Bagulas will have for not firing Sean McDermott, whether it be injuries or a reset year or whatever the case may be. I'm telling you guys, you will see him opening day in the new stadium. He will be your head coach of this football team, no matter what happens from there.
Him firing Brady or Babbage before he gets let go.
Absolutely. And that would that shock you? And we have wouldn't shock me at all. So
Robert comes in and says Bean and McDermott came from Carolina Panthers. Now I'm seeing the Bills starting to mirror the Panthers to me. Ouch. I'm not sure we're there yet.
No.
No. Roy, Tommy long-winded. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, no, that's never gonna happen.
Mafia Sports Report with Tommy and Mikey and Locked On with Joe Marino are the best. I love Joe.
Hey, thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. I love Joe.
Appreciate that.
Joe does such a good job over there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
Buffalo Plus too. Shout out to them. They're entertaining. They are entertaining. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
I'm really into the X's and O's. Like I enjoy that, so I like to listen to the cover one, the fellas over there as well because they bring me inside the things that I really enjoy.
Are. I can
if you like so that, much. They're great. Yeah. If you like the X's and O's though, they're great for that.
I said that to when I got in my little when I got in my little fight there with Eric from Cover One on Twitter years ago, I gave him his dues because you are right.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you guys look, if you guys want to really like dive in deep to the X's and O's, like I give them all the credit in the world. Those guys put in a lot of work. They know their stuff. Like I give them their dues, but they're not always, by the way, not always right. Everyone still has an opinion, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I will tell you. Yeah, like and that's why I got my little beef there with Eric because he felt like he was, John Madden on Twitter, and I'm like, yo, settle down, pal. but yeah,
everyone, haven't you ever heard the customer's always right?
Right, like, dude, calm down, buddy.
Triggs comes in and says McDermott must have some pictures on Terry Pegula. No, they just love him. He turned the franchise around. He's a fantastic regular season coach.
Yeah, and I think he's a good person in general. Like,
yeah, he's a great person.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's look, man, we keep telling the same thing over and over, but he's a good coach. He has a winning record in here. He's a winning record in Buffalo. You have to give him his credit. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, fellas, and ladies and gents, we're year 8 in. How much longer do you want to continue this before you step outside your comfort zone as a fan, as the Pegulas, and go, we need a change because we just have to have a change, even if it backfires, because it could. Listen, Mikey, we can fire McDermott after this year. New coach comes in and he's terrible. And you know what? Everyone's going to come back and go, you see why we did, right? Like, I get that. It's very possible, but it's also possible we find a coach that could actually take us to the next level. Like, you have to eventually take that. You have to step out of the comfort zone and take that chance. There's been multiple teams and multiple sports. No, but I'm saying you should if you're year 8 and there's been a lot of teams.
I'm just messing with you. You don't have to. Obviously, you don't have to.
You don't have, right, guys. If you're happy with just being a good team but not great, no Super Bowl, but always fine. Hey, keep McDermott around. But that ain't satisfying me. Y'all should want the one thing that every team wants and across every sport, which is a championship. And, if you got the one guy who's preventing that because he can't figure it out, then that's on you for just being comfortable with being just good enough. I can't do that, guys. I can't. And you all shouldn't either.
Yeah, Spin comes in. And don't give me the chicken or the egg thing. Spin, don't put me on the spot like that. Then who's right when the customer's going at each other if the customer's always right? That's like the chicken or the egg. I ain't answering that. You're not dragging me into that hole. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Trix comes in and says, but shows you Terry cares more about being relevant than does about winning a championship. You can look at it that way, at the end of the day. All right, let's get into the keys of the game. And we'll keep these short and sweet.
Yeah.
It all starts with the trenches, offense and defensive lines. You have to stop the run, and you have to be able to run the freaking ball. If we can win the trench battle this week, we're going to win.
Nope.
The second piece is, keep Josh from getting beat around. And my third one, and this isn't even defense, because I think the defense is going to do okay. It's going to be give Josh the easy button throws.
Absolutely.
Bring back the easy button throws. And Josh, take the profits. And that means if the lane is open and you need 3 yards for a first down, run the fucking ball and get the first down.
Right. Yeah. I know you're a little banged up, but yeah, I agree.
Slide. Run the 3 yards and slide.
Yeah. Yep.
I get it. And I get you're trying to make the throws and do the things that the coaches want you to do. But at this point, we need the W here. It's a division game. It's on the road. And, the last 2 games were conference games on the road, but this is a division game. It's different. It's like 1.5.
Yeah.
So, win the line of scrimmage, run the ball, stop the run, protect Josh, and give him the easy button throws, and we'll win.
Yeah.
Seems so simple, doesn't it?
It seems simple, but it's never that simple. Never that
seems
simple.
so simple. Daniel
Never
Garris comes
has
in.
been.
What's going on, DG? He comes in and says you only make a coaching change if you're gonna upgrade. If you want to hire a coordinator, you're starting all over again. It really depends on what coordinator you're hiring, and if you feel like if you're going from a
Right.
defensive coach to an offensive coach, and you go out and hire a young coordinator, I can see that. But there is coaches out there that I think are upgrades. You know,
Yeah.
Belichick is an upgrade. I think is the Titans coach. I can't think of his name off the top of my
I
head.
love him, man. God, what is his name? He used to play for the Patriots.
Yeah.
God.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he's out there. You know, so we got guys out there. McCarthy's probably gonna be on his way out the door. McCarthy's a fantastic head, offensive mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And mind you,
so there are guys out there.
Yeah. And I don't think the Bills, they're not, listen, I don't think Bean would go, right? And Bean's a bright guy, bro. He's not going to bring in some college coach he's going to bring experience in, right? He's going to get a guy. If that ever happens, I don't think they make this, you're not going to get one of the coaches we had in the drought years, like with zero experience or just really flat.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank
Brable.
you.
Yep.
Daniel
Brable
is who I was thinking of.
Exactly. So I wouldn't worry if that time came where they felt like needs to be a coaching change. I would trust in the fact that they would get the right guy because Brandon Bean is here, would still be here. And I think he would, coordinate with the Bagulas and bring in the right guy. That's just my opinion. So.
Touche. I give you that spin. I don't think Belichick would be hired here because it'd be counterintuitive to Bean's job. And Belichick wants.
I don't see. I don't see that ever happening here.
Could you see this happening? We have a huge down year, right? It just doesn't go right. Mm-hmm. They fire McDermott and then Dable comes back.
No. And I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want.
You wouldn't want Dable as a head coach?
No.
Even with his relationship with Josh?
No. I wouldn't want. Okay. Yeah, I think he's he's gotten better as an OC while he was here. I just feel like his head coaching is a little shaky, and I don't think he's seasoned enough as a head coach, and now and I get it. He doesn't have the greatest quarterback over there, and it really wasn't all his fault. But I wouldn't feel comfortable with him as our head coach. I just want to feel comfortable with. Now, offensive coordinator.
This surprises me. Daniel Gary's response here surprises me. He says McCarthy's not a better head coach than McDermott. In my opinion, good OC, but not a good head coach. McCarthy has Lombardi, doesn't he?
I believe so. Yeah, he has a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's Aaron Rodgers' only Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is with McCarthy. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was McCarthy that won the Super Bowl, and then he got him fired later on. But I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong, but I think he did, Mikey. You gotta look that up. But I think he did win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think McCarthy has the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong on that. Yeah, I would look that up. But McCarthy, I get it. He's been shaky with Dallas too.
He's got one.
Yep. There you go. There you go. So yes. So to answer,
having a Super Bowl doesn't mean you're a good coach.
Not necessarily.
He's made the right calls. Something that our coach. You're telling me Mike McCarthy was on the sidelines with 13 seconds. You think we give that up?
Yeah, and Beth to counter that. Not only has he won a Super Bowl, but he's gotten in the playoffs just as much as Sean McDermott has, probably, if not more. So it's not like, what's the difference? The difference is one head coach has the experience of getting to a Super Bowl and winning one, to the other who's only been to one AFC Championship game and got smoked and hasn't been back since and keeps losing in divisional rounds where they shouldn't lose. Because if you really want to dial it back, every divisional round that we've been in, we've had opportunities to win. And we should have won. The Bengals game, we should have won that game. They were banged up. They came to Buffalo, poor offensive line, guys off the street. We got smoked. The Chiefs game, 13 seconds. We should have won that game. did not win that game. That was total a failure on Sean McDermott. So once again, and then the one championship game he went to in 2020, we got smoked in the AFC Championship. He, like I said, he has not been back since, and we're getting smoked in the divisional rounds. We're not even coming close in some of these. And the one against the Chiefs that was close, we lost because of Sean McDermott and his inability to coach, to make the right decisions, poor decisions, and that cost us. That cost us big time. Cost us a chance to go to Super Bowl if you really want to go back in time.
But now you're going from a defensive head coach to an offensive head coach. To an
offensive, exactly.
When you have a superstar quarterback, that's only a positive. And
what
Beth, name me a Super Bowl winning head coach that's a bad head coach.
Yeah, no, I can't think. I can't think of one. I mean, look at Doug Peterson. Yeah, he got fired, and he's a good coach. He went to Jacksonville. He's a good coach. Say what you want about him, but he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. I would have taken him in a heartbeat. And an offensive minded head coach.
You're saying wins are not a head coach that?
Yeah, most of them. You're right, Mikey. I mean, I can't think of one that John Gruden. I would take John Gruden in a heartbeat if he wasn't blacklisted from the NFL. In a heartbeat.
Yeah, Ravens for life comes and says, I don't believe that because you have to not get out coached to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. It's only one team that wins it, guys.
Yeah.
And like
I can't think of a head coach that won a Super Bowl that's been bad.
Great.
I would love to have the hardball.
Absolutely.
Give me both a hardball on a freaking
one
second.
won it. Yeah. The other been to it, I mean, guys, man, it's there. You have to know. You have to be a good coach.
I mean, these are all hypotheticals. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we got to get there.
I guess McCarthy's a better head coach than Kyle Shanahan because Shanahan can't get it. So Shanahan collapses in the second half of Super Bowls. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's done it multiple times.
Is Shanahan a better schemer? Yes. I would take McCarthy's, judgment. He's collapsed in 3 Super Bowls in the second half. He had a 27-3 lead, and all he had to do was run the ball in the second half, and they win, and he refused to do it, and all he did was throw. Then last year, he had the Chiefs beat if he just ran Christian McCaffrey, and all he did was throw.
Right. Yep. I agree.
Oh, God, that wouldn't that be fun, watching Jim Harbaugh and Josh Allen together?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, it's fine. It's okay to agree to disagree on these outcomes. I just don't. I believe Mike McCarthy's a better head coach than Sean McDermott.
Yeah, and also to the offensive side of things, I think we need to that whole defensive minded head coach thing. Listen, it works on very few coaches, especially now. You got to be like Bill Belichick, or there's just very few that can get by. It's an offensive league now. I think this team struggles a lot on the offensive side of the ball. I just feel like we need that change. Just a change. We need a change. I think it's the same. By the way, guys, McDermott's he preaches the same bullshit every year. The same, there's no change in him. That's the other thing too. I don't know if you guys
mindset.
Yeah, I'm
not seeing the growth.
There's no spark. Yeah, there's no spark with it. No change as a head coach. You guys saw he went talking about campfires this week. I mean, guys, come on, man. This is his motivation. He's talking to his players about campfires. I mean, I can't do it. He's driving me crazy, this coach.
All right, so the last 10 years for Super Bowl head coaches is Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Bruce Arians.
Offensive.
Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, offensive. Doug Peterson, Bill Belichick.
Defense.
Gary Kubiak was the head coach for the Denver Broncos that year? Okay. Bill Belichick. Yeah. So in the last 10 years.
So I think there's only Belichick and
Belichick.
And there was one more, I think there was, right? Or no?
No,
that was
Belichick.
Just one.
Last 10 years.
There you go. Probably the greatest head coach. Probably the greatest head coach.
Because Carroll goes back, and I think he's year 11.
You're right. He was defense.
Mainly offensive head coaches.
Yeah. Yep. I just feel like too, man. Just like just like when you get a spark, when you change your coordinator, sometimes it brings you a spark, and it just like Joe Brady last year was a spark for this team. Sometimes that happens with head coaches too, guys. Like it does. Look at the Raiders. They brought in the new like just saying, like you need a change sometimes. The Texans, like you have to eventually move on, bro, from what's not working. That's all.
It feels like with the Cincinnati Bengals all over again with Marvin Lewis.
Yes, all over.
They held on to him for year and year and year.
All over again. And there's a lot of coaches like that that are fit in that category of good, but can't get, hits a wall. They can't figure it out. No matter what they do, and that they make the same coaching errors.
It took Andy Reid to get fired and go somewhere else to win the big one.
It did.
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes, yeah, maybe McDermott figures his way if that ever happens. But I
would love to see him do it here. I just don't trust he would. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, didn't he go to a Super Bowl at least? May not have won one, but he went there with the Philly. Yeah, Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. With by the way, a banged up Terrell Owens. Yeah, but Terrell Owens who was I think got a broken foot, right? Played with a broken foot or something like that in that game.
Yeah.
Still had
ankle. Bad ankle, yeah.
Yeah, bad ankle, yeah.
Going dark to see which idea sticks and go with it. I mean, at this point, that's all we're doing. But we're in week 6. McDermott's not going anywhere. I've laid out my keys to the win this week. I'm wearing my Black Bills hat, as I am going to be wearing this until we win.
Dark days.
Until we win, I'll be wearing this one. So,
dark days.
I'm hoping it's Monday night. Let's remember what fun we were having 2 weeks ago. And let's just be a blip in the radar.
Yeah. It was
Get back on track Monday night. Right. You know what I mean? Get back track on Monday night. Get the win. Go up 2.5 games, and then we have a small spot like where we're gonna have some home, some away. This seemed like the early tough stretch. Let's get through this, get on the other side, and start stacking some wins.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to the score prediction. We'll get out of here because we're an hour and a half, 40 minutes. So.
For me, score prediction, I have it 24-17.
Buffalo, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I don't think I ever actually picked them to lose.
This is tough, man. This is tough because I'm going to have the Bills, but let me just see here. I want to see something real quick. So the 49ers, I'm just looking at the recent games. So they lost 32-19 to the 49ers, 24-17. They won to the Titans, 24-3 to the Patriots. They lost to the Broncos 10-9 and lost to the Vikings 23-17. So they're giving up around 20 points a game, let's say. Okay. And our offense is playing like absolute dog shit. Okay. So, but their offense also isn't getting a lot of points either. 19, 17, 3, 9, and 17. Okay. So I'm going to go.
Roy, you dirty.
Yeah. He picked last week. He picked the Texans too. I'll go 20. God, I feel like I'm giving them too much points. I'll go 26-21 Buffalo. 26-21. No, I take that back. 26-24 Buffalo.
26-24 Buffalo?
Yep.
Do we miss extra points to get to 26?
Yes.
I'm like, or is Bass having a good day kicking a bunch of them?
We met because this is one of these games. I think it's it's fair. I'm gonna go 26-24, 26 or 27-24, but I'm gonna stick with 26 because Bass likes to do stuff like that. So
I'm with you on that, Beth. We have more problems if we can't go in and get this W. There's much bigger problems, in Buffalo than we were thinking. Yeah, he's due for a good game after 2 subpars. If you subscribe to his roller coaster theory, you know what I mean? The Jets have the number 2 defense. Josh struggles in New Jersey. I get it.
And he's been struggling over the last 2 weeks. So and he's probably going to wind up missing some key
Cook
weapons.
and Shakir.
Yeah, and
which is not great.
No, not great with a offensive coordinator who is struggling as well. So not only is Allen struggling, our offensive coordinator is struggling, and we have injuries. So yeah, it's offenses.
But our defense is starting to come back together. So let's see. Maybe the defense and special teams steps up and helps Josh get a win.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can hope for, man.
So Beth, the way I'm looking at it is we're gonna have, the defense is our defense is gonna step up, cause a couple turnovers, and give us short fields to where we can score some points. I don't see us doing, because I have us scoring 4 times, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I don't see us putting together 15 plays, and driving 80 yards on that defense. I just don't see that.
Do you see a 60-yard field goal for the win?
No.
We're up 20.
No.
We're down 24-23.
If we're down 24-23 and we need the field goal, I have zero confidence that our kicker is making that. I have all the confidence in the world whoever we're playing's kicker is going to make it, but we're not making it.
Oh, it's so pitiful, so bad.
Six. Still can't give a 7. Yeah, Tommy knows I'm a Bills fan, but I'm not a homer. That's fine, Roy. I get it.
We're not. By the way, Roy, we are definitely not homers.
No,
there is homer channels, but I get where you're going. But we're not. We just like to. We don't want to ever pick against our team. I guess this makes us kind of homers, but we also keep it real.
I also don't look at the Jets as this team that we're 2.5 point favorites for a reason.
Yeah, their offense is right. So the reason why we definitely, and I get where you're going with this too. The reason why we lean more towards the Bills in a close game, by the way, is because there's a lot of things going on with the Jets right now. One, they fired their head coach, right? That is a big deal. Two, their offensive coordinator. Yeah, their offensive coordinator. They switch off OCs in a week. They'll have a week to prepare with their new OC, and they've been struggling anyways on offense. So it's not like they're even clicking. And they have their own injuries over there, and Aaron Rodgers is not 100%. He has some kind of leg thing going on right now. If you see his last game, Mikey, he is like limping out there. So Aaron Rodgers right now, he is a guy, by the way, Mikey, that I think we can get to finally, and because he's limited. Like he is not very.
But no Oliver. No Oliver.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying, like he's also out of all the quarterbacks we just played right now, he is the least mobile. Like,
oh god, yes. We played a really, really mobile 2 quarterbacks last 2 weeks.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, he's the guy we can get to. So yeah, I just feel like with their offense struggling, with the change of coaching, with guys coming back on defense for our team, we can limit them as far as their offense goes. And as long as our offense, God, does something, we should win. Let's give us something, and we should win.
We're going to get back on track this week. I just got this feeling.
Yeah, Mikey will go back to his regular hat and out of that black clothing.
We're gonna get back on track this week. I got this feeling that Josh is going to snap out of the funk and take the profits and unsung heroes this week for us.
Yep. So anything else before we get out of here, Mikey?
Tomorrow we have Fantasy Kingdom back at its normal time, 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern. Howie and I will be back. Last week we went an hour earlier as I was out of town and had to check out of the hotel. So that was a fun time. Come join us. It's always fun. A lot of laughing.
Yep. And 4:00 is the AFC East shakedown. So pretty much right after Mikey gets off, 4:00 is AFC East shakedown Eastern time. And I think I should have everybody at the round table this weekend. And then
is it on Mafia Sports Report this week?
Yeah, Mafia Sports Report. And then Monday will be the pregame and postgame show. So tune in for that.
Roy, also my face isn't on the screen. I can make the Bills lose in my picks. Yep. But other
All
than
right.
that, let's get ready to go. We got a fun weekend of football. Enjoy it. No stress. We play Monday night. And we'll be back Monday night after the game for our post game, but it's also our normal Monday night. So come join us. It'll be a fun time.
Yep. All right, guys, we're out of here. Bills Mafia, you rule. Peace. Go
Go
Bills.
Bills.